Welcome to the Go Legal Yourself podcast. I'm your host, Attorney Kelly Bagla, the Queen of Business Law. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Raffi Jamgotchian. I believe I pronounced that correctly. I'm sure he's going to correct me though. Raffi Jamgotchian. Raffi and his wife, Aline, are founders of the Triada Networks, which helps boutique investment companies get their cybersecurity and technology in order. Raffi is a certified information systems security professional and a member of the US Secret Service's Cyber Fraud Task Force. What a mouthful. Welcome to the show, Raffi.
Thank you, Kelly.
Fantastic. Please pronounce your surname.
It's Jamgotchian. You were very close. Very close.
And we practiced that too.
You're not the first to fumble it, for sure.
Well, at least it's a talking point, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Raffi Jamgotchian. Love it, love it. Raffi, do you have a joke for our fantastic listeners?
I do. How many lawyer jokes are there?
How many?
Only 3. The rest are true stories.
Exactly. That's one of my favorites too. I know. I know. And I'm sure that you absolutely love lawyers, yes?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't live with them. Can't live without them, I mean. Yes.
Was that a Freudian slip up?
I think so.
Well, apparently my husband's stuck with this one. He has to live with me and he can't live
Exactly.
without me.
Exactly.
Well, I'm super excited to have you on the show because cybersecurity, we all have heard of it, and some of us know what it is, but most of us need it. Can you go into a very layman's definition, Raffi, of what is cybersecurity?
Sure. So security, we know, is the object of being safe. The cyber part of it is being safe with our technology and online. It's really as easy as that. The complex part is how to do it, but there are some basic things that most people can do to be safer than they are today.
Cybersecurity over the past, I'm going to say probably 3 to 5 years, it's really been the forefront, right? In on TV,
Absolutely.
In radio, anywhere where you, even in magazines, everywhere where you go, you are confronted with what's going on as far as cybersecurity goes, and literally, it is a threat, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's out of the the hoodies and the shadows that we all think about, cybersecurity issues and hacks and things like that. And now it's mainstream. We hear about compromises happening all the time. It's on the everyday news. Water plant in Florida just only last week. It's there, so it's all around us. In the past, it was very difficult to get people to understand where the threats are, and more now it's the news is helping at least getting the story out that where we are now. The difficult part here is the getting people to understand that they have a part in it and how they can help themselves.
Just over the span of a year, even with me, so my law firm, I have an IT company that I work with, and they make sure that the information that I receive and sort of send out is secure. But Rafi, it's unbelievable how many people around the world, the threat can come from anywhere, and they're literally around the world trying to hack into anyone's computer. Could you even imagine the amount of information that investment companies have, right? It's someone's whole life. It's their bank accounts, it's their social security. Yeah. Tell me how you got into this incredible field.
So interesting story. So I was working at an investment firm, helping them out with just technology related stuff. I was a help desk guy, helped them fix things, that kind of thing. I was good with computers as a kid, and got into IT a few years after college. One day while working around, we got a call from one of the employees saying something's going on with my computer. It's acting up. Can you come take a look at it? So we went up to take a look, and it was actually what's called a worm, where the program, the malicious program, was actually replicating itself, jumping from computer to computer and infecting it as it goes along. It actually wasn't doing any damage, but because of the nature of what it was doing, it was spreading all over the place and causing all the computers to slow down. And that really intrigued me. I really wanted to understand and dig into, A, how did it get in there? Two, what is it doing? Why is it doing what it's doing? How is it doing what it's doing? And really kind of dig in. And that's really where I got the security bug and why I went deep into that field.
And you've been obviously doing this. Is it just for clients here in the US that you provide services for, or can it be anywhere?
They can be anywhere. Most of our clients are US based companies. However, they have people and subsidiaries that are overseas. We work with, for example, we have one venture capital firm that is one arm is in the US, one arm is in India. So we support both ends of it. We have some technology firms, not financial, that are in the US and Armenia and other places. So we can function worldwide, but we're primarily a US based firm.
So Rafi, talk us through, for example, with hackers, right? Hacking isn't a new phenomenon. It's been around for a very long time, but it's just people are becoming aware of it just because what's been happening in the news, right?
Sure.
It's not just private companies that are getting hacked. It's the government sectors are getting hacked too.
Sure. I mean, if you look at the last couple weeks in the news where we had really large firms, even security firms, that were getting broken into allegedly by Russian attackers, that they used actually our own software against ourselves, which is actually something that has been happening all along. So think about, we always tout that we should keep our software up to date and keep updating to make sure that you get the latest patches. But now you have a malicious actor that gets involved in those patches, sticks their bad stuff in the middle of that, and now all the patches are infected. And that's basically how they broke into some of these larger firms. So yes, governments are getting hacked all the time. I'm sure that our government is doing the same to other governments as well, but it's one of those things that it's a constant battle. It is more in the news now. It's because it's affecting everybody. Only a few years ago we had essentially the biggest dump in history, where all of our records that were used by the one of the credit unions, credit monitoring services that was available, millions of records, hundreds of millions of records. So if you haven't been hacked, chances are you have. Your information is probably out there. But it's, the big companies are definitely a threat. But guess what? Small businesses are also being hacked. 60% of businesses that get hacked don't open again. So it's a critical thing, especially for companies that are on the smaller side.
It's extremely devastating, extremely. And, I've seen emails come through, and now they're getting even smarter, right? So what these emails are saying, and who doesn't shop on Amazon?
Sure.
Everyone shops on Amazon. So these emails that come through, it's, oh, thank you for your purchase on Amazon. We will be billing you for, $250. And then you look into that and you think, oh my God, and then there's a phone number in the email to call. And when you call that number, that's when they get your information. Well, who is this? What's your name and what's the address on the account and all of that information. But you have to look at the email from where it came. It's some sort of crazy Gmail account. And so people need to be aware. Have you come across this?
All the time. We have not only just emails, but we've had people get phone calls on their cell phones, text messages that say, "Hey, you have I get once a week. I get one that's the FBI. We have your information, you didn't file taxes or something like that, and that the police are coming to arrest you. So that's a weekly occurrence for us, but it's very common, and it's you get the other ones where an email from your CEO, someone masquerading as your business owner, saying, "Hey, can you buy some gift cards? I want to pass these out to the employees for whatever as a bonus." And then they say, "Get me the gift cards, then send me pictures of the gift cards," and it's all a scam. The other part on the business side, you were seeing a lot of the invoice scam where somebody will send a fake invoice to you, but then change the bank records of your client. So it looks like it's coming from your customer or from a supplier, but they're telling you different bank records than normal. Oh, by the way, our bank records have changed. Please send the wire to this, and then you're out thousands of dollars because you've sent the wire to the wrong place.
You know, what you just mentioned, where people are getting text messages from their boss. True story, Raffi, true story. My husband's a very smart man. He actually got a text from his boss saying, "Can you please purchase $500 worth of gift cards?" And he's thinking, "Oh yeah, okay. You know, I'll do my boss a favor. He's probably too busy to go out and get it himself." But the card that he used obviously refunded everything back, and it really happened. These are
Yeah,
true life
these are true
stories.
stories. Yeah, absolutely.
And then
And they happen all the
especially,
time.
yes, and especially that one too, where you get a phone call and they say there is a warrant out for your name, right? Or the IRS is investigating you. Please call this number.
And it sounds very for many people it's like, oh, that's obviously fake. But think about the people who they're home, maybe they're not technically savvy, they're elderly, they're it doesn't have to be somebody who's old, and now, like, that's a lot of fear now that you've put into that person, that they potentially can have somebody come arrest them. So it's nuts. And all they do, and then that they're getting their social security number, and then they're opening up credit cards in their name and what have you. So it's a constant battle.
You know, I see life as a chess game. Right? Everything seems to be a chess game. In business, you have to always stay one step ahead of your competitors. In life, you always have to outthink, the people that are trying to do harm to you.
Sure.
How do you stay ahead of these savvy hackers? Because that's exactly what they are. They're already two steps ahead of you, and we're all trying to
Yeah.
catch up now, because now we're using authentications on phones and computers, right? But how do you counsel your clients, Raffi? How do you stay ahead of them?
Yeah, it's a great question. So it's obviously it's ever changing. Things are moving very fast. We keep up to date with. There's a lot of security podcasts. I listen to a lot of them. I read a lot. I consult with peers. Nothing is an insular. One thing that's great about the security community is they're very giving, and we share a lot of information. And that sharing part of it is becoming more and more. We've created these information sharing organizations. Some are related to a specific vertical. Maybe you're in the legal vertical or financial vertical, the IT vertical, and we share together what the threats are that are out there. As a company that supports a number of companies, we're also a big target, because you get access to us, you get access to many, not too dissimilar from a legal firm. If you get access to a lawyer's information, now you have access to all their clients as well. That's how a number of folks were exposed not too long ago with some legal firms being hacked. So it's something that you're always looking at. We have some frameworks that we use, that we keep it up to date with the threats, just to make sure that we have whatever defenses are. But the tactics are always changing, and you have to evolve with it. But guess what? Most of them are using really simple methods to attack us. And so it's not like they're really super sophisticated. Yes, the nation states that are out there that have the ability to do kind of really sophisticated hacks, the vast majority of the commercial grade attacks are not like that. They're usually basic stuff. basic hygiene, if you want to think about it that way, keeping your systems up to date, making sure you have security software, don't share passwords between websites, use an authentication application like you were referring to. All those things are going to help you protect yourself from potential damage.
Thank you so much for sharing that valuable information. I was going to ask you, how do we get a step ahead? How do we protect our data? Because without internet, right, without emailing, without having secure information in the cloud, how do we protect all of that? And how often should we meet with someone like you?
So if you have a business and you're not working with an IT professional, especially one that has some security focus, definitely do that. Call somebody, get recommendations, reach out. If you want, reach out to me. I could recommend somebody in your area that can help you out. But it's not all technology companies are built the same, and not everybody necessarily has the thinking to understand how a hacker's mind works. A hacker tries to make things work to their advantage differently than it was intended to. That's really kind of the core. It's not necessarily a negative term, but that's obviously the way that things are working. So if you're a business, you're looking for a way to protect yourself, definitely reach out to people to get that. I think that's what you asked me. I kind of lost my train of thought there. But at the end of the day, we all can do a little bit to protect ourselves by knowing what information we have, where we have it, and then making the defenses around that. Most of the time, we don't even know where we put our information. The privacy laws are changing too. I'm not a lawyer. So the privacy laws are changing. So businesses are going to have to adhere to a lot more regulatory scrutiny here in the US as well. It's already started in your state, in California. It's getting even harder in California starting next year. That's spreading to other states as well. It's very similar to kind of the privacy mentality that we have in Europe. So the getting in front of that is going to be beneficial.
Absolutely. I always counsel clients, especially when it comes to websites, and it's the FCC that oversees websites, if you will, and they have to be compliant with the law, meaning that they have to have at least three crucial pieces of information on their website. One is the terms and conditions. Have to have that. The other one is definitely the privacy policy that you just mentioned, Raffi. Absolutely. And the other one is a disclaimer. And so without those three, you literally are opening yourself up to be sued from pretty much everywhere in the world, because anyone has access to your website. It's not just people in the US anymore, right? It's worldwide. So those are definitely the three documents that are a must have on each and every website for business owners.
And if you don't need to collect information, don't collect the information. If you don't need to hold on to personal identifiable details, don't do it. Take it, scrap it, make sure you have a policy around it, internal policy, and how you handle that stuff. Otherwise, it's going to catch up to you someday if somebody, as the laws change, or if, like you said, like if you're in California and then now somebody says, I want you to delete all my data. How are you going to know what data you have if you don't keep track of it?
That's absolutely correct. I'm just going to take a moment to recognize our sponsor. Today, our sponsor is Bagla Law Firm. Bagla Law Firm helps with business formations, business contracts, and asset protection. Please visit baglalaw.com for more information. So, Raffi, I love asking this question of my guests, especially seasoned business owners such as yourself. If you had to, what would you say was one or two of the most challenging aspects when you started your business?
Knowing what I didn't know. I think, as somebody who came from a practitioner point of view, like I was a technologist, I was an engineer, I was doing IT. And then all of a sudden, after 12 years of doing that, I was thrust into hey, start your own company. And not knowing all those things that were ahead of me was definitely kind of the biggest task. You get the MBA program I went through did not prepare me to own a company, for
I'm
sure.
so glad you said that. They
Yeah.
don't teach you anything in
No,
college, right? No,
no, they
not at
don't.
all.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I think there's some better resources now than there were. And I think I've learned more about running a business in the last 3-4 years than I did in the first 10 or so. But that was definitely been things. Not knowing what I didn't know is really kind of the thing.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that usually is one of the most biggest challenges that business owners and entrepreneurs face, right? You don't
Yeah.
know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And because I deal with entrepreneurs on a daily basis, I've written several books. One of my latest books is out on Amazon. It is the second edition to Go Legal Yourself, and that explains the ins and outs of running a business, growing a business, and then preparing it for sale or exit. Right?
Right.
Because if you've been in business for 15, 20 years, and you want to retire, well, who's going to pay for your retirement? It's your company, right? And
Yeah.
how do you set your company up so you can actually live the life that you want to upon retirement? So yes, there are books out there that can help people on starting a business, running a business, but you also need to understand the legal pitfalls as well. Those are the ones that will get you in trouble. And this one today that we're talking about, the cybersecurity, that's a massive one. It's everywhere. It's in your face now. Everyone, at least once a day, you'll see on TV or you read in the newspaper that somebody was hacked. But
Yeah.
even department stores, Rafi,
Yeah.
big departments, that's where you use your credit cards. They have
Right.
all of your information.
Right. No, and it again, yeah, it doesn't matter how small or big. The big ones are getting attacked. The small ones are getting attacked. The big ones can sometimes withstand it. Target's still in business. TJ Maxx is still in business after their big breaches a couple of years ago. But the small mom and pop that doesn't necessarily can get through a lot of that. And just like if you're a business owner, I didn't know what I was doing when it came to insurance or legal or any of those things. So you hire professionals to help you out with this. It's no different with technology and cybersecurity. It's hire a professional to help you. There's going to be somebody that works with companies that are your size that works well.
And you've become a necessity now. You literally have over the, I'm going to say probably forever, but most prominently now over the span of 5 years, you definitely are a necessity to anyone that's in business.
Yeah, I mean we've been deemed essential workers too.
Yeah.
So it's not only is it practically something that you need to do, but we can actually go out and visit you and do things where some other businesses haven't been able to for the last year. So
Fantastic. Rafi, I have enjoyed having you on the show. You've been such an incredible, valuable guest. And how can the audience can obviously contact you from our app. They can download the app from the app stores. It is called Go Legal Yourself. And you can contact any of our guests, including Rafi, from the app directly. But how can someone contact you, Rafi?
yeah, I mean our website has a contact form, triadanet.com, triadanet.com. And I'm TriadaNet on most social platforms as well. You can reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, connect with us if you have any questions or concerns. I too recently published a book. It was on Amazon called On Thin Ice. It was along with 30 other cybersecurity professionals. So check it out. There's actually a link on our website if you want to grab a free copy. We can send that to you as well. So feel free to dive into that.
That's fantastic. Again, your information will be part of our show notes. We'll put all the links to your website and to the book as well on our show notes. And thank you so much, Rafi, for being a wonderful guest.
Thank you, Kelly. This was fun.
Absolutely. And to all my friends out there, to all these entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, we're always here to help. Do check out golegalyourself.com. It's a do-it-yourself legal protection. I am attorney Kelly Bagla, the Queen of Business Law, and it's been my pleasure being your host. Until next time, cheers to your success.